You're about to spend $1,200 on a new laptop you don't need. I know that sounds blunt, but hear me out, because in the next 10 minutes I'm going to show you exactly why that purchase is a mistake, and more importantly, what to do instead. Here's the scenario. It's a Tuesday afternoon. Your MacBook feels slow. Opening Chrome takes 4 seconds. Switching tabs feels like you're asking the machine to solve world hunger. You Google Best Laptops 2025, you end up on a Best Buy page. And suddenly you're justifying a $1,200 purchase because it's an investment. Sound familiar? What if I told you the problem isn't your laptop? And what if I told you the hardware inside your 2018 MacBook Pro is still right now? Capable of handling 90% of professional workflows without breaking a sweat. The slowness you're feeling is not a hardware problem, it's a software problem. And it's one you can fix this afternoon for free. That's not a clickbait promise, that's engineering. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why and exactly how to fix it. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside your machine right now. My name is Hostname, and this channel exists for one reason: to give you the technical knowledge to fight back against planned obsolescence. I'm not here to sell you gear. I'm not sponsored by any laptop brand. What I am is an engineer who spent years watching perfectly capable hardware get thrown in the trash because people didn't know what was actually slowing it down. And that ends today. When Apple released the 2018 MacBook Pro, it shipped with Intel's 8th generation Core i5 and i7 processors. Those chips are built on a 14nm process, which means they're dense, powerful, and absolutely still relevant in 2025 for productivity work. Here's the part Apple doesn't put in the marketing material. Those same chips are also thermally aggressive. They want to run hot and fast. When they can't cool down fast enough, which happens constantly in a thin aluminum chassis, the processor does something called thermal throttling. Thermal throttling is the machine's self-defense mechanism. The processor literally slows itself down to avoid permanent damage from overheating. What you experience as my laptop is slow is very often just this: the chip running at 40 or 50% of its rated speed because it's too hot. This is not a flaw in your laptop. This is by design. The flaw is that no one tells you about it. Here's the brutal truth about modern operating systems. Every major update adds features, and features cost resources. Koa's, Ventura, Sonoma, and Sequoia all introduced visual effects, background processes, and memory management changes that eat into the available headroom on older hardware. Your 2018 MacBook hasn't gotten slower. The software running on it has gotten heavier. There's a difference. And understanding that difference is the key to everything we're doing today. Let's talk about RAM for a second, because this is where most people get confused. Your Arlene eBay MacBook Pro likely shipped with 8 or 16 gigabytes of RAM. 8 gigabytes sounds like a lot until you realize that Chrome, just Chrome, can consume 2 to 4 gigabytes on its own, with a moderate number of tabs open. macOS uses a system called memory compression, which is actually brilliant engineering. When your physical RAM fills up, the operating system compresses inactive data and holds it in RAM instead of writing it to your storage drive. This is faster than traditional swap, but it still has a cost. It uses CPU cycles to compress and decompress that data. So when your system feels sluggish, what's often happening is a chain reaction. RAM usage triggers memory compression. Memory compression taxes the CPU. The CPU generates more heat. The heat triggers thermal throttling. And throttling makes everything feel slow. This is the cycle. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Now let's talk about your storage drive, because this is the second piece of the puzzle. The Arlene eBay MacBook Pro shipped with either a 256 gigabyte or 512 gigabyte solid-state drive. Solid-state drives, or SSDs, are extraordinarily fast. But they have a performance characteristic that most people don't know about. They slow down when they're nearly full. The reason is called write amplification. When your drive is mostly full, the controller has to do extra work to find free blocks to write new data. On a drive that's 90% full, you can see sequential write speeds drop by 30 to 50%. If your drive has less than 15 to 20% free space, this is actively slowing down your machine every single time it writes data. Every browser cache save, every autosave, every temporary file, all of it is hitting a congested drive. Check your storage right now. Go to the Apple menu, click About This Mac, then Storage. If you're above 80% full, that is part of your problem. Let's also talk about background processes. because this is the silent killer that nobody talks about. Apple's operating system runs dozens of processes in the background at all times. Spotlight indexing, iCloud syncing, time machine backups, photos, library analysis. These are all legitimate, useful services. But they also run on your CPU and read and write to your drive. The problem is that these processes don't coordinate with each other. You can be in the middle of a video call while Spotlight is indexing a new file download. iCloud is syncing a folder, and Time Machine is running a backup all at once on a machine that's already hot. This is not a conspiracy. It's just poor resource scheduling on aging hardware. But knowing it means you can manage it. Now, let me give you the practical playbook. These are the exact steps I run on every older MacBook that comes through my bench. Step 1. Clean your thermal paste and vents. This is the most impactful single action you can take, and almost no one does it. The thermal paste between your processor and its heat sink, the copper block that pulls heat away from the chip, degrades over time. After 5 or 6 years, it can become dry and crumbly, dramatically reducing heat transfer. A professional reapplication of quality thermal paste, such as Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut, can drop your idle temperatures by 5 to 10 degrees Celsius and your load temperatures by 15 degrees or more. That 15 degrees is the difference between your processor running at full speed and it throttling down to save itself. You will need a pentalobe screwdriver and a T5 torque screwdriver to open the 2018 MacBook Pro. iFixit has a full guide. It takes about 45 minutes and costs about $15 in materials. Step 2. Run a thermal diagnostic. Before and after any work, you want data. Download a free tool called MacFan Control or use the built-in activity monitor to watch your CPU temperature under load. If you're seeing consistent temperatures above 90 degrees Celsius during normal work, you have a thermal problem. The target for comfortable sustained performance is below 80 degrees Celsius. At that temperature, Intel's 8th generation chips can maintain their boost clock speeds without throttling. Step 3. Audit and kill your login items and background agents. Go to System Settings, then General, then Login Items and Extensions. You will likely find a list of applications that launch automatically every time you start your machine. Go through every single one and remove anything you don't use daily. Then open Activity Monitor. You can find it in Applications, then Utilities, and sort by CPU usage. Let's watch it for 5 minutes while your machine is idle. Anything consistently using more than 2 to 3% of your CPU while you're not actively using it is a candidate for investigation. Step 4. Optimize your browser. Chrome is the single biggest resource consumer on most MacBooks. If you're using Chrome, I want you to try one thing today. Enable hardware acceleration. Go to Chrome Settings, then System, and make sure you use graphics acceleration when available is turned on. This offloads video decoding and rendering from your CPU to your GPU, which runs cooler and more efficiently for that type of work. Alternatively, consider switching to Safari for general browsing. Safari on macOS is engineered specifically for Apple hardware and can reduce your RAM usage by 30 to 40% compared to Chrome on the same workflow. Step 5. Free up your storage drive. Your target is to keep at least 20% of your drive free at all times. Use the built-in macOS storage optimization tools. Go to About This Mac Storage and click Manage. Enable Optimize Storage and run Reduce Clutter to find and remove large files you no longer need. Pay particular attention to your Downloads folder, your trash, which many people never empty, and any old virtual machine files or large video projects you've finished. Step 6. Reset your system management controller and PyRAM. These are hardware-level memory stores that control how your Mac manages power and performance. Over time, incorrect values can cause your machine to behave strangely, running fans at incorrect speeds, misreporting battery state, or applying conservative performance limits it doesn't need. To reset the SMC on a 2018 MacBook Pro, shut down, then press and hold left shift, left control, left option, and the power button simultaneously for 10 seconds. Release, then power on normally to reset PyRAM, also called unVRAM shutdown. Then power on and immediately hold Command, Option P, and R until you hear the startup chime twice or see the Apple logo appear twice. These resets are free, take 2 minutes, and I've seen them make dramatic differences in thermal behavior and battery life. Step 7. Consider a RAM upgrade if you have the 2015 or earlier model. I want to be transparent here. The 2018 MacBook Pro has RAM soldered directly to the logic board. You cannot upgrade it. But if you're watching this on a 2015 or earlier MacBook Pro, your RAM is upgradable. Going from 8 to 16 gigabytes will eliminate memory pressure as a bottleneck entirely, and you can do it for under $50 today. Step 8. Consider an external cooling solution for heavy workflows. If you do video editing, software development, or any sustained heavy compute work, an external laptop cooling pad with active fans can make a measurable difference. By keeping the bottom of the chassis cooler, you reduce the ambient temperature the internal fans are fighting against. Good cooling pads run between $20 and $40 and can shave 5 to 8 degrees off your sustained load temperatures. Now, here's the question I want you to sit with. After going through this checklist, what performance did you actually recover? In my testing on a 2018 MacBook Pro 13-inch with the Core i5 after thermal paste replacement, storage cleanup, and login item audit, the machine went from feeling sluggish and unresponsive to handling 8-hour workdays of web, development, video calls, and document work without complaint. That's not a miracle. That's maintenance. The same way a car with fresh oil and clean air filters runs better than one that's been neglected. The laptop industry, and honestly the tech media industry, has a financial interest in you believing your hardware is obsolete. Every article titled Best Laptops of 2025 is monetized. Every comparison that makes your 2018 machine look bad is driving affiliate revenue. I'm not saying new hardware is never worth buying. If you're a video editor working with 8K footage, or you need Apple Silicon's neural engine for machine learning work, that's a legitimate upgrade case. But if you're doing productivity work, writing spreadsheets, calls, web browsing, light creative work, your 2018 MacBook Pro has years of life left in it. The question you should be asking isn't, should I buy a new laptop? The question is, have I actually maintained the one I have? What's your situation? Drop it in the comments. Tell me what machine you're running, what your biggest performance pain point is, and whether you've tried any of these steps before. I read every comment on this channel, and your question might become the next deep dive. If this video saved you from an unnecessary purchase, or gave you one thing you didn't know before, the best thing you can do is subscribe. It's not for the algorithm though, that does help. But because every video on this channel is built on the same mission, it's helping you get maximum value from the hardware you already own, and fighting back against the idea that last year's technology is worthless. Planned obsolescence is a business strategy. Knowing how your hardware actually works is how you beat it. I'll see you in the next one.